On the outskirts of Cluj-Napoca, deep in the heart of Transylvania, Romania, lie a place that locals refuse to enter after sunset. Known as Hoia Baciu Forest, it has earned a chilling nickname whispered by Paranormal investigators around the world, the Bermuda Triangle of Europe. At the first glance, the forest appeared ordinary rolling hill covered in tree, narrow paths winding through quiet woodland, sunlight filtering gently through leaves. But step closer, see something begin to feel wrong. The air grows strangely stilled, bird song fade, and even the wild seem hesitate to pass through the branch. Visitors often describe an immediate sense of unease, as though they have crossed an invisible boundary separating the familiar world from something unknown. Compass behave unpredictably. Electronic device malfunction without explanation. Some people report sudden headache, nausea, and overwhelming anxiety moments after entering. Then there are stories that transform Hoia Baciu into legends. A shepherd once vanished here along with the entire flock of sheep, never seen again. Photographs taken inside the forest have revealed unexplained light hovering in the mirror. Witnesses claim to have seen shadowy figure watching silently between twisted trees. Others insisted they experienced missing time emerging from the forest hour later with no memory of where they have been. Perhaps the most unsettling feature is the perfect circular clear known simply as the dead stone. Nothing grows here, no trees, no vegetation. Soil tests reveal no clear scientific reason why life refused to exist in that place. Is Hoia Baciu truly haunted? Is a nature unmerely science has yet to understand, or is it a place where human perception itself begins to break down? Tonight, we step beyond rumor and here, entering one of the most investigated paranormal locations on Earth. Because when you walk into Hoia Baciu Forest, you may leave with more questions than answers if you leave unchanged at all. Hoia Baciu Forest lies just west of the city of Cluj-Napoca, a historical region of Transylvania and Romania, a land almost famous for medieval legends, ancient castles, and centuries of folklore surrounding the unknown. From the city edge, the forest appeared calm and inviting, covering the rolling hill that rise gently above the Sums River valley. Yet beyond its peaceful appearance, Hoia Baciu has one of the most unusual forests ever studied. The forest spans roughly 3 square kilometers, making it relatively small compared to vast, wider area found elsewhere in Europe, and yet despite its modest size, Hoia Baciu has gained worldwide attention far beyond forests many times larger. Its compact geographic concentrate its mystery into a surprisingly confined space, allowing visitors to move quickly from ordinary woodland into area widely considered anomalous. The terrace consists of soft hill, dense cluster of hornbeam and oak tree, and narrow paths winding unpredictably through the landscape. Unlike symmetrical plantation forests, Hoia Baciu feels irregular and organic. Elevation changes subtly, creating pockets where visibility suddenly narrows or opens into unexpected clearing. The most famous of these is a circular meadow, often referred as a dead zone, where vegetation refuses to grow despite otherwise fertile soil. The climate of the region is temperate continental, Summer are warm and rarely extreme, while winter bring cold air and occasional snow for drifting across the hill. Morning fog frequently settle over the forest, especially during transitional season. This mist can transform the environment dramatically, reducing visibility and producing shifting shadows that seem almost alive as light filters through moisture in the air. Other most striking environmental characteristic of Hoia Baciu is the unusual growth of pattern of its tree. Many trunks twist, bend, and spiral in unnatural directions, forming shapes rarely seen in typical Europe forests. Some trees appear to grow sideways before curving upward again, while others display sudden angular turn, as if responding to invisible force. Botanists have proposed explanations ranging from soil compositions and wide exposure to genetic mutation, yet no single theory fully explains its widespread distortion. Electromagnetic measure taken by researchers has also produced inconsistent reading in certain areas of the forest. Investigators have documented localized fluctuations in magnetic field, though this could remain debated. While such variation may result from underground mineral deposits or geological structure, this abnormally contributes to the forest's enduring reputation for strange phenomena. What truly set Hoia Baciu apart, however, is not just its physical environmental but its intense human experience reported with it. Few forests of comparable size have generated such a volume of eyewitness accounts describing unexplained sensations, sudden anxiety, feeling of being unwatched, and the overwhelming urge to leave specific location. Unlike remote wilderness regions where danger comes from isolation or wildlife, Hoia Baciu exists remarkably close to civilizations. City like glow only minutes away, and just stepping beneath its canopy create a powerful impression of entering a complete separate world. It is this contrast, proximity to normal life paired with deeply abnormal experience that make Hoia Baciu stand apart from other forests. Here, the mystery does not hide in distant wildness, it reaches beyond the edge of the town. Long before Hoia Baciu Forest earned its reputation as one of the most haunted locations, its story began deep in geological time, shaped not just by mystery but by powerful natural force that transformed the landscape of the Eastern Europe. The forest lies within the rolling hill, sudden surrounding cloudy Napoca, part of the Greater Transylvania Plateau. Billions of years ago, this region looked nothing like the dense woodland visitors see today. Ancient sea once covered much of the area, decomposing layers of sediment, limestone, and crates across the basin. The tectonic activity slowly lifted the land, erosion caused valley and hill, creating fertile soil capable of sustaining thick vegetation. Unlike forests born from volcanic destruction of glacial retreat, Hoia Baciu developed gradually. Seasonal climate shift encouraged diverse plants to flourish over century. Oak, Romania, hay maple, and bee tree established a stable ecology. The forest became dense, uneven, and strongly isolated. The natural high labyrinth formed by geology itself. But long before Paranormal story appeared, humans already viewed forests like Hoia Baciu with caution and reverence. Archaeological evidence suggests that the ancient Dacian tribe inhabited the region thousands of years ago. These early inhabitants lived closely connected to nature, believing forests served as a spiritual threshold between world. Dense woodland was often considered a scared place where spirits of ancestors and nature deities reside. Spiritual sites discovered across Transylvania indicate that forests were used for ceremony offering and seasonal gathering. When the Roman Empire conquered Asia in the second century AD, road fortifications and settlements expanded across the region, yet Hoia Baciu remained largely untouched. Its uneven terrace and dense growth discouraged large-scale development, while nearby communities adapted to Roman influence. Forests statewide acquired frontiers separating civilization from wilderness. During the medieval period, Transylvania became a cultural crossroad. Romanian religious, Hungarian noble, and Saxon settlers all shaped the surrounding countryside. Agriculture expanded. Castles rose across the hills, and trade would connect the growing town. Still, Hoia Baciu resisted transformations. A local syrup grazed animal along each would clutter and enter cautiously and hunt occasionally across its interior, but permanent settlement never formed within the forest itself. Historical records describe the area as strongly avoided, and when nearby land proved valuable for farming. One story frequently repeated among local communities tells a shepherd named Baciu who vanished inside the forest along with a flock of sheep. Whether legend or reality, the tale became deeply embedded in regional memory, eventually giving the forest its modern name. The later century political instability swept through Transylvania, was between empire shifting border and changing ruler. A region moved between Ottoman influence, Habsburg control, and eventually integration into modern Romania. Through all this transformation, Hoia Baciu remained constant, silent, untouched, and increasingly surrounded by folklore. By the 18th and 19th century, Enlightenment thinking encouraged scientific explorations of nature. Scholars began documenting unusual tree formations and ecological patterns in the forest. Some noted only curved trunk and irregular path plane growth, observation that would later fuel paranormal interpretations. The 20th century marked a turning point in forest interpretation as urban expansion brought more people to Cluj-Napoca. Curiosity about the nearby woodland grew. Report of strange light and unexplained sensations and mysterious experience started spreading beyond local villagers. What has once been quite regional forest slowly transformed into international mystery. Yet beneath every legend lies a deeper truth. Hoia Baciu Forest is not formed, but is formed by supernatural forces, was shaped by ancient sea, geological uplifts, and centuries of human belief and generation who projected meaning onto an untouched landscape. Its history is a meeting point between science and story, where nature, origin, and human imagination merge over time, and perhaps that's why the forest feels so different from others, because Hoia Baciu is not only a place formed by Earth's history, it's a place formed by humanity. Need to explain the unknown. Long before camera drone panorama festival arrived, Hoia Baciu Forest was already wrapped in fear and fascinations for generations. Villagers living near Cluj-Napoca passed a warning about dark woodland hidden within Transylvania, a place believed to exist between physical world and something unseen. To local, Hoia Baciu was never just a forest, it's a boundary. One of the oldest legends tells the shepherd named Baciu who entered the forest with large flocks of sheep. According to oral traditions, he and his animal disappeared without leaving a single trace. No tracks, no remain, no explanation. The story spread quickly among nearby villagers. Parents warned children never to wander too deep into the wood. Shepherd avoid certain paths, and hunter refused to stay after sunset. Overall, the forest adopted a shepherd named a Panamanian reminder of the man believed to have been claimed by the forest itself. Whether historical fact or symbolic myth, the legend shaped how generations perceive Hoia Baciu not as dangerous as predator or terrains, but just something on the inside truth who could live. Another hunting story speaks of a young girl who vanished near the forest each while playing search party combined the area for days but found nothing. Years later, according to local folklore, the girl suddenly reappeared at the same location. She wore the same clothes and exists. She had been gone for only a few hours away. Witnesses claim she saw no sign of aging or distress. Although historians cannot verify the event, the legend persists because it touches deeper fears that time behaves differently inside Hoia Baciu. Some villagers began to believe the forest exists outside normal reality, a place where travelers could sleep between moments, trapped beyond human understanding. Visitors quickly noticed that many trees inside Hoia Baciu grow in strange shapes, trunk twist unnaturally, spiral, and bending a sharp angle before reaching towards the sky. The folklore these trees are said to mark area where spiritual energy gather. Story describes shadowy figure move silently between trunks, tall how appearing only at the edge of vision. Witnesses claim this being avoid direct observation, vanishing whenever approached. Some local interpret them as a lost soul unable to leave the forest. Others believe they were guardians, ancient entity protecting sacred land from outside. Romanian tradition often portray forests as inhabited invisible guiding spirits tied to nature itself. Hoia Baciu's unusual appearance strengthens this belief, transforming natural irregularity into supernatural symbol. Deep within the forest lies a circular area commonly known as a clearing. Unlike the surrounding woodland, vegetation here grows poorly or not at all. For decades, villagers avoid this site. According to legend, witches once gathered there to perform rituals beneath moonlight. Some stories claim the clearing marked an ancient ceremonial ground used long before Christianity reached the region. Others believe it is a portal, a place where energy from other worlds leak into ours. Visitors have reported feeling of sudden anxiety, headache, or unexplained calm when standing in the clearing, whether psychological or environmental. This sensation reinforced the belief that the location holds unusual power. The opposite of chi became symbolic as if nature itself refused to claim the ground. Perhaps the most famous story involves mystery light seen floating above Hoia Baciu at night. Farmers describe glowing sphere moving silently between trees. Witnesses claim the light changed color, hovering without sound and vanished instantly. Some believe they were spirits of death. Others thought they presented celestial visitors. During the century, this report attracted paranormal research and UFO enthusiasts across Europe. Photographs of light captured a strange aerial object above the forest, fueling its reputation as one of the world's most haunted locations. Yet, even before modern technology, visitors spoke of wandering lights guiding travelers deeper into the wood. only to disappear or leave them lost. In traditional Romanian culture, forests has long symbolized mystery and transformation. Woodlands were places where heroes and faced trials, spiritual and tested human, and barrier reaching were weakened. Hoia Baciu fit perfectly into this cultural imagination. Older generation believe entering the forest without respect could anger unseen force. Some people carry charm or religious icons when passing nearby. Others refuse to speak loudly inside, fearing they may attract attention from something listening. Interestingly, not all beliefs were native. A few traditions claimed the forest possessed healing energy, capable of revealing hidden truths, of forcing individuals to confront inner fear. To this belief, Hoia Baciu was not evil, only powerful. What makes Hoia Baciu unique is how legendary and reality evolve together. Unexplained experience add another layer to its story. Each generation reshaped the myth to match its fear and belief. The forest became a living narrative, part history, part folk, and part humanization. And perhaps that's why its legend endures, because Hoia Baciu does not simply frighten people with monsters or ghosts, it confronts them with uncertainty, a place where every shadow might be natural or something more, where ancient myths some still breathe between the trees, and where the greatest mystery is not what lives inside the forest, but why humanity has never stopped believing something does. While legend gave Hoia Baciu Forest its reputation, it was a series of reported incidents during the 20th century that transformed it into one of the most investigated paranormal locations in the world. One of the earliest widely shared stories tells of Shepherd who alleged entered the forest with hundreds of sheep and vanished without leaving a trace. Through historical documentation remain limited until became deeply embedded in local culture and marked the beginning of Hoia Baciu association with unexplained disappearance. Foreign attention to intensified in the late 19th century when Romanian biologist Alexandru Rushi began documenting unusual phenomena inside the forest while conducting root botanical research. She reported photographed strange aerial light appearing above the treetop. The image showed bright disc-shaped object hovering slightly in the sky, a photograph that later attracted international interest and sparked speculation around unidentified flying object. Soon after, the military technician Emil Barnon captured one of the most famous images connected to Hoia Baciu. During the outing with friends in 1968, Barnon photographed what appeared in a flying object suspended above a clearing. An image circulated widely, earning the further commemoration to UFO hotspot during investigation from across Europe. But sightings of light were only part of the mystery. Visitors began reporting deeply personal and unsettling experiences. Some witnesses described sudden physical symptoms shortly after entering certain area: headache, skin irritation, nausea, and intense anxiety with clear cause. Others claim electronic equipment malfunction is unexpected. Battery drained rapidly, cameras stopped recording, and encompassment erratically. Perhaps the most disturbing account involved episode of missing time. Several individuals report entering the forest for a short while only to emerge hours later with no memory of where they have been. Watches and phones show significant time gaps, yet the deep individual felt as though only a minute had passed. Paranormal research conducted overnight investigation described hearing unexplained footsteps, distant voice, and rustling sound. move to the tree despite the absence of animals and other people. Some investigators claim to capture unexplained shape or light up abnormally or infrared camera, though no consensus explained has been reached. One particular well-known case involved a young girl who alleged wandering into the forest and reappeared years later wearing the same clothes, reported unchanged and unable to recall her absence. While the story remains difficult to verify, it continues to circulate among local investigators as one of the Hoia Baciu most chilling situations. Even skeptics acknowledge that the volume of unusual reports surrounding forests is remarkable. Psychologists suggest that expectation, fear, and environmental factor may heighten perception, causing ordinary events to feel extraordinary. Yet many witnesses insist their experience cannot be explained so easily. What makes Hoia Baciu unique is not a single dramatic event, but the consistent of strange reports across decades. Different visitors, different background, different purpose, yet similar discrimination of unease, disorientation, and unexplained encounters continue to emerge, whether caused by natural abnormality, psychological influence, or something still unknown. Hoia Baciu remains a place where reality feels slightly unstable, and for those who has walked beneath the twisted tree, the mystery barely ends when they leave the forest behind. Despite this reputation as one of the Europe's most haunted forests, Hoia Baciu also became one of the most important subject of scientific investigations. Researchers from multiple disciplines, geology, biology, psychology, and environmental science have attempted to understand whether natural explanation has may account for strange and experience reported there. One scientific theory focuses on electromagnetic anomaly measures taken in certain areas of the forest have occasionally revealed localized fluctuations in magnetic fields. While not extreme enough to be dangerous, the variation may influence sensitivity, electronic devices, and even human perceptions. Some research suggests exposure to irregular electromagnetic fields can contribute to headache, anxiety, and sensation of being watched, feeling commonly described by visitors. Geology may also play a role. Underground mineral deposits beneath the Hoia Baciu could affect magnetic reading and interfere in compass. Subtle geological stress within the soil may influence how trees grow, potentially explain the forest's unusual twisted and curved trunk. Rather than supernatural force, scientists propose that environmental pressure, uneven sunlight exposure, and soil decomposition combine to produce the forest's distinctive appearance. Another area of study involves infrasound, low frequency and sound waves below the range of human hearing. Nature resources such as while moving across hills and vibrations of traveling through discomfort, unease, or fear response in humans. Some research believe infrasound could explain why many visitors feel sudden, anxious, or disoriented without understanding why. A famous dead zone where vegetation struggles to grow has attracted scientific attention. Soil analysis has revealed compacted early variation in microbial activity that may limit plant development, while no single factor fully explains the barren, clear. Researchers continue to study how soil chemistry, drainage patterns, and historical land use might contribute to the phenomenon. Beyond the anomaly, Hoia Baciu is support a surprising diverse ecosystem. The forest provides habitat for numerous bird species, insects, small mammal, and rare plant community adapted to a rising climate. Mollusks and fungi thrive in shaded areas, playing a crucial role in nutrition, recycling, and maintaining ecological balance. Psychologists the studying visitors experience emphasize the power of expectation entering a place or remain famous for paranormal activity can heighten awareness and amplify abnormal environmental sensations. In unfamiliar surroundings filled with silence and irregular street formation, the human brain naturally searches for pattern and meaning, sometimes transforming ordinary stimulus into extraordinary experience. Scientists do not dismiss these mysterious Hoia Baciu instead. It reframes it. What appears supernatural may emerge from a complex interaction between environment and perceptions. Magnetic field, geological conditions, substances, and psychological expression together create an atmosphere unlike most forests on Earth, and perhaps that is the most fascinating discovery of all. Hoia Baciu may feel all otherworldly, not because it defies nature, but because it reveals how little we still know about the nature of the perfect human mind. Why Hoia Baciu is famous for its paranormal legend, many visitors overlook a far more real threat, a nature danger hidden within the forest, beyond ghost story and UFO sight, like a environment that quickly can become dangerous for the unprepared. First, the forest terrace present unserious challenge. The ground is filled with hidden holes, loose soil, and steep slopes. The sky beneath thick vegetations. Foliage often cover rock and ridgy rock, making steep and twisted angles surprisingly common among hikers. Many explorers enter the forest expecting a simple walk, only to realize the navigation is far more difficult than anticipated. The dense growth block clear sight, and trails sometimes disappear without warning. Compass already have reportedly behaved strangely, whether due to magnetic interference or simple equipment error, leaving visitors disoriented. How several hikers have described walking in circles despite attempting to follow straight pace, while I also add elements of danger. Although Hoia Baciu does not host large predators in significant number, animals such as white boar foxes and aggressive stray dogs inhabit the area, encounter rare but potentially dangerous, particularly at dusk or nightmare when visibility drops. Environmental hazards play an equally important role. Sudden weather changes are common in Transylvania forests. Thick fog can appear rapidly, reducing visibility to only a few meters. This phenomenon contributes heavily to forest ear reputation. Is also increased risk of getting lost. Temperature shift can surprisingly harsh, even during a warm season. Night in the forest grow cold quickly. Visitors without proper clothing risk hypothermia. If strained after sunset, rain transforms paste into slippery mud. One strong light can bring down weakened branch from Hoia Baciu famous twig to twig. Another danger cannot come from nature but come from human behavior. Many explorers enter the forest searching for paranormal experience and ignore basic safety precautions. Some wander alone at night, stray from market trade, or rely solely on mobile phone for navigation. The find may be lost signal deep within older area. Local rescue teams have occasionally been called to assist lost visitors who underestimate the equipment. The mystery of Hoia Baciu attracts thrill seekers, but curiosity can easily turn into risk when preparation is lacked. Hoia Baciu Forest remind us that not all dangers are supernature. Sometimes the most powerful for our outward are nature environments, and human mind, turning a mysterious forest into a genuinely hazardous place for those who enter without respect. After decades of story, investigations, and speculation, the most terrifying truth about Hoia Baciu may not lie in ghosts yet or to nature. The real hunger began inside human mind, located in the outskirts, deep within the historic region of Transylvania. The forest creates a powerful psychological environment unlike almost anywhere on the earth. Its dense vegetation blocks sound, distortion light, and erase familiar visual landmarks. Within minutes, visitors lose their sense of direction. Scientists suggest that subtle environmental factors may trigger intense emotional response. Irregular terrains, unusual tree growth patterns, and shifting shadow confuse spatial awareness. The signs become overwhelming without realizing it. The brain begins searching for threats even when none exists. This is where fear takes control. Many explorers enter expecting something paranormal. That expectation heightens anxiety, making every sound feel intentional and every moment seem watched. The forest amplifies imagination until perception and reality blur together. One lesser known fact is that people rarely reported identical experiences. Some feel panicked, others calmness, and a few describe an almost hypnotic tranquility. This inconsistency suggests that forests may act as a psychological minor, reflecting inner fear rather than creating external danger. The greatest threat, then, is not an unseen creature obsessed with nature present, but disorientation, isolation, and powerful influence of suggestions. Hoia Baciu reminds us that the unknown does not always exist outside us. Sometimes the darkest mystery waits quietly within the human mind itself. As night falls over Hoia Baciu Forest, the giant stone stands motionlessly beneath the fading light. Their twisted branch still held against the darker sky. The wind softened, and the forest grew quietly, and for a moment everything feels suspended between reality and imaginations. For centuries, many people have entered this forest searching for answers, scientists seeking explanations, so explorers chasing mystery, and believers hoping to witness the unknown. Some live with story cannot explain, others live can change, carry an uneasy feeling they struggle to put into words. Perhaps the true power of Hoia Baciu lies not in providing so supernatural exists, but in reminding us how little we truly understand about the world around us. Hidden within the hill of Napoca, deep in the heart of Transylvania, this forest continues to challenge logic and belief alike. Every shadow invites other questions, every sign feels meaningful. Was it ever haunted? Did the generation of humans feel slowly transform the ordinary forest into something extraordinary? Maybe the light seen in the distance were never visitors from another world. Maybe the whisper carried through the tree were the echoes of those who claimed before explorer, village, or dreamer who stood exactly where they stand now, wondering what hides just beyond sight. And as you leave the forest behind, one question remains. Did Hoia Baciu reveal its secret to you, or did it simply a quick mysteries you never noticed within you?